Good and hope you're doing well. It's the second round of English programming, and I'm here to take you through the segment I had promised to bring you earlier on. And our guest is already on standby, Crusoe Osage, Special Advisor Media Project to the Governor of Edo State, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. And we'll be looking at some things, different things from the state and how they're preparing for the elections will not be left out. While we get that set, let's quickly read your message. I promise you I'll finish the messages. Below are some of the projects. You said you were going to share some of the achievements we've had since democracy started without military. 4 refinery built by the military, but now they are all bad. Is that all? You said, let Mr. Tinubu pick one of the refineries and repair it and fully be in operation by the end of 2027. All right. David from Ikpaja, why is it that it is this time that Tinubu is in power that the Chinese will seize 3 presidential jets for money borrowed by Ogun State? It's not money borrowed, it's for a project that the contract went south. So the federal government is going to, it's not, it's to, this is planned between the, David. Anyway. So if you can write David. VOP, okay, this is enough for me. Yes. And you say, yes, we love our oppressors differently, and then gave the career thieves like the impetus to bankroll Nigerians. Okay, so Adewale, that was a message, part of the message you sent in. There is our guest ready. I have David. I've called David 100 times. I have Joseph Lawrence here with me. Hi, Joseph.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning to you.
Welcome.
But today, no days yet. I've been fuel. I use the fuel that I have to look for fuel without seeing fuel. So
you looked for the fuel that you have to look for fuel, but you didn't get any fuel.
So I have to now met one independent marketer who
by the road.
Who sold the 4 liter for me, 5 liter for me.
At how much?
5K.
The independent marketer inside Jerrycan. What's the name of his independent marketing outfit?
I need to look for the name.
Kamaru, maybe it's Kamaru.com. You use
and the place is just very close to the filling station where there's no fuel.
You use the fuel that you don't have to look for the fuel. No, you use the fuel you have to look for the fuel you didn't get. I better talk that in again. We must cram it because it'll be like the middle name of many Nigerians now, using the fuel they don't have to to
look for the fuel
that they didn't get.
They didn't get, and at the end of the day, have to now enter at the independent marketer.
I think the federal government, knowing how it is now, I think they should declare a form of stay at home to work. You see the way we did it during COVID, where people did remote work. I think offices, on a very serious note now, I think offices, right, should allow their staff to work from home as long as they deliver on all their targets. I think we should go back to that era of working from home, because I don't know what we're paying staff that they'll be able to cope with what we have as transport fare now. Any staff that can work from home, allow them to work from home. But the thing is, you don't deliver by close of work, that's not a problem.
Because imagine that I think the president is on his way to France, right? Assuming it is France that there's no fuel. People are queuing everywhere, and maybe Macron decide to go to Canada.
He can go now.
Know the way French people.
He can go. While he's going, they'll be fighting behind. He will come back and settle fight. You know, our ways are not their ways. Neither our thoughts. They are thoughts. But you understood what I said just now. Maybe we should start working from home.
Yeah, no,
there are people who can work from home. Let them work from home.
Because if you go to a pastry cage under bridge, everywhere is as if how do I put it? It's
a lot of people on the road.
A lot of people on the bus stop. A lot of people.
But I promise you one thing. Call me evil. I won't give anybody a lift. No.
Okay.
I won't give anybody a lift. Because the heart of man has become so dark this period. You don't know what's up. You don't know who is who. So giving somebody a lift could become your own undoing, especially a soft target like me. Soft target in that I'm alone in the car, right? Driving that early. You understand what that? I know.
And even something happened, was it 3 weeks ago?
Sorry, and I won't take a lift.
Okay.
If need be.
Something happened, is it 3 weeks ago? The woman entered Keke Marwa around that already. And the last bus stop, the man now said, "Okay, madam, go down now." The madam not do anything.
Why?
No, that the madam don't cross, go the other side.
He died for inside Keke.
The madam cross to the other side without even caring that this person, this is Keke Marwa.
Oh, wait, it's not that she died inside.
He died inside. It was, everybody was coming that the guy reached the last bus stop.
When was this?
Is it last upper week?
Goodness.
I know the way our security agency can work very well. You must give account.
Anywhere in the world, you must give account.
You must give account.
You must say what you know. In a decent society, what would just follow would be that they'll do proper investigations to find out if yes or no. But in some societies that are not decent, they want to rope you in on something you know nothing about. That may just be the difference. Oh, wow, she went. Uh-oh. Maybe not stress, so the stress. Goodness.
So he said, giving someone lift is good, but we equally pray when you are doing that. Pray very well.
All right. So we have our guest is already set. He will be joining us now. Hello from Lagos to. Okay, I think it's that one. Hello, greetings from Lagos to Benin.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I can hear you. How is Benin City today?
Benin is very calm and decent this morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming. Maybe you could raise your camera a little bit so that it's not too close to your. That's perfect. That is international standard.
No, Benin, I don't know to take last.
I do not they carry last. even when okay, good. Even when flood happen, I do not they carry last.
No.
They are on a flood. Not be here. I'll soon ask. I'm going to ask Mr. Osage.
But that's a thing of the past.
The surprise say they talk of flood for the when they say the whole of Lekki, the whole of
Forget.
Flood carry on. Have you not seen those videos?
Forget. On our own way they carry tipper and a trailer on coffee.
I want the learn for where on our own day.
Now you talk out. Not forget say we be aquatic splendor on a be dry land.
That the matter be that not be inside our room for Lekki aquatic go the splendor now.
Now you sabi not before this now wording when they do wording. You know, growing up, that was what we used to call it. They say the word, and they do wording. Lagos and Benin wording.
Let's say you near this side, you near this worry Benin axis. That wording when
I worked in Bender Broadcasting, Edo Broadcasting, till I left in 1999.
Oh, no wonder. Now you be now your area be this now.
Not today, forget.
now your area be this.
And I be Isoko lady.
Yes, so we're Bender. We're Bender.
Yeah.
All right, if you're just joining us, that was just a soft landing. And yes, I'm Isoko. Who is Isoko? But your surname is Osage.
Osage, no, you are Isoko, but I'm Benin.
Correct, Benin now. We are doing some.
Yes, but we're not so far from Isoko too. It's just maybe 30 minutes drive from here, 45 minutes drive.
That was olden days when the road was good, but now.
That's why we are begging Baba Tinubu to come and help us fix the federal road.
I think that's where we should start from. If you're just joining us, that was a light banter to start. We have as guest Crusoe Osage, Special Advisor, Media Projects to the Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and we'll be looking at a couple of things. Let's just start from this place our teasing started from. There are states that are able to tackle federal roads. When they are done with handling them, especially when they're really very bad, the state government will go back to the federal and say, okay, we've done this road, pay us. Why don't we try doing some of those roads and then go back to the federal?
Yeah, because the federal government has expressly stated about 3 years ago that they will no longer refund any state government that carries out any construction or remediation or fixing of any federal road. Yes, what you said is correct. That used to be the case. If a federal road is very bad, you could mobilize as a state and fix it, and at some point make claims from the federal government. But that has since changed since the federal government stopped that policy.
Is it not possible to have a discussion? Because at the end of the day, they are slow in coming to handle these things. For instance, you remember there was a video clip that trended the other time where, was it a trailer or a truck went into water somewhere along the Benin, is it Benin Warri Expressway? I don't remember the exact name now. Do you remember that video? For such a road that's very important to the state, and if the federal is coming, isn't it possible for states to now have a meeting that, when it's quite crucial, allow us to do this thing, seeing that it's not helping, their new directive is not helping anybody?
Yeah, well, what we've done in the circumstance that the federal government will not allow anybody to do their roads and make claims is to do what we call palliative, response, just to make sure the road is passable. So and we do that from time to time. But when you do that, it can only last for so long. If it's not done properly, after some time, the palliative washes away. So we have done palliative several times on airport Chapel Road. I've done palliative several times on the Lagos Benin Road. That's the road you're talking about, where the trailer went into the river. It's Lagos Benin Road. I've done palliative several times on the Benin Agbo Road. Now we even had to circumvent the federal government in terms of with respect to the Benin Agbo Road. We had to go and get investors, to sign a contract with us to build our road, and although we still got the federal government to agree with us to concession that road. So we are working on that, but it's the best thing not just for the federal government to fix their roads.
Okay, your camera has gone down again. If you can do yes. All right, so that watching it, you feel comfortable to watching it. So when you say palliative measures, what would a typical palliative measure be like?
Yeah, like putting some stone base, ramming it over, but with machinery, and just essentially making it passable. But that doesn't last for too long. After a while, it is washed away. The proper remediation will be drainage system introduced, proper, hardcore, proper tarring, and so on and so forth. And it usually runs into billions of naira to do all of that. And because the state also has several of its own roads that it's dealing with, it's not economically wise to now spend all the money on one federal government road that you will never get back.
So, talking about spending money on your own project, what eventually has the state been able to do? That is His Excellency. We're counting down to him leaving the office now in the area of flooding, because when the rains come, people in those states always have things going on social media, complaining about the floods, and I experienced a couple while passing through. But I'm believing that something could have or would have been done this period, to help with the flooding. Is there anything that's been done?
Yeah, a lot has been done. We've done a lot of drainage projects across the state. We have retention ponds built around the government reserve area, GRA, for example, which is one area where we experience a lot of flooding. We've done remediation in the Queen Eda area in the Bobahila axis. We've done remediation, flood remediation, massive flood remediation projects in Iguosa aspect in Ovia side. We've done a lot. There's a problem of climate change, and it affects all countries, not just Nigeria. I said joking just now about Lagos, and it's true. I have a house in Lagos. We're disturbed by flood every rainy season. Sometimes we're chased out of our property in Lekki, many times. So it's an ongoing problem that we continue to solve. But yes, we have done a lot. We had to even set up an agency of the state government that that has the sole responsibility of responding to flood challenges. We call it FEMA. It used to be in new map. We changed it to FEMA, Flood and Watershed Management Agency. So it's a serious challenge that we are really dealing with seriously in Edo State.
Okay, next time when you want to buy property, maybe come to the mainland. Try Keja.
Yeah,
try
even better to go to Ali Mosho.
You sure?
You are more secure.
I don't even know that area. Okay. No, you have an estate survey already. It's counting money. It's showing me money. All right, now you see the elections are heating up, and the campaigns are really heating up too. And I see the deputy governor who was reinstated. I don't even know how it now played out after the reinstatement. Let's start from there. What has the reinstatement process been like? Did you allow him to?
As a matter of fact, there was no reinstatement. Yes, there was a judgment that was in his favor, but we immediately applied for a stay of execution. We filed an appeal, and once that is done, status quo would be maintained. It's just like every impeachment matter. For example, if you remember Peter Obi, when he was impeached in Anambra State, he went to court. He won at the High Court, but he didn't go to government house to take office just because he won at the High Court. The governor at that time appealed. The House of Assembly appealed the judgment that he got from the High Court. He had to go all the way to the Supreme Court and win all his cases before, the court came and installed him, as governor. So the same thing applies with Philip Shaibu. Yes, he won at the High Court, but there's an appeal pending. So he has to wait till that appeal is heard. If he's lucky enough to win, then perhaps, then who knows whether they will go to Supreme Court. If he wins at the Supreme Court, then why? The law will take his course. It will take off his course.
In how many months?
Justice is what justice is. That is in the hands of the judiciary. It depends on how fast they want to run. They can do it in 1 week if they want to, Or immediately, if all the matters are dispensed with and he wins in all these courts, who will stop him? Nobody can stop him. The law is the law. But for now, he's still the impeached deputy governor of Edo State, former deputy governor of Edo State. We have a deputy governor right now playing that role. His name is His Excellency Omobayo Godwins.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of, should I call it bad blood? Or I don't know how to describe it anymore, because you hear at the campaign venues the name calling, saying the governor is quite wicked, is this, is that, how much was spent, how a lot of begging took place and all of that. And it now shows that whatever caused the rift between the governor and the deputy must be very, very deep. And nobody is really giving us a clear picture. Now that the days have gradually come to the end of this tenure, can I get a clear picture of what the rift truly was about and still is about?
It's clearly the result of inordinate ambition from the impeached deputy governor. He just assumed that because he had supported Obaseki against his godfather Oshomole, that automatically earned him the right to be governor after Obaseki. But things don't work that way. But when Obaseki then told him that, well, you see, we have an arrangement in Edo State that maintains a tripod, which means we have Edo South, Edo Central, and Edo North. Edo South is where I'm from, the Benin speaking. We have Edo Central, which is the Ishan or Esan speaking, and we have Edo North, where Philip Shaibu is from. Oshomole is from Edo North. He was governor just before Obaseki. Obaseki is from Edo South. He's governor now. Is it fair for us to hop over Edo Central and just go back to Edo North again? It's not fair. What is fair is fair. So we explained to him, the governor explained to him that, sorry, you cannot come to office at this time because, in terms of the way we have arranged it geographically, it's the turn of the Asans to produce a governor, and he wouldn't have it. And then he started tearing things down, throwing tantrums, and then violating rules, which resulted in his impeachment.
Was that why his salaries and allowances were withheld for like 15 months?
His salaries were not withheld.
He said they were withheld.
He would say anything. he will say anything. He's embattled. So people who are embattled say all sorts of things.
But you have your proof. You have your proof for your response.
So the burden of proof is on him. If he has not been paid, if he was not paid for that period, can you tell him to print his bank statements to you and show you for that period whether funds didn't come from the state government to his account? That's the way to prove it.
So it will now be both of you, the accused and the accuser, should be able to prove.
No, we cannot prove it for him. I can't print his bank statement. He can print his bank statement. He should just identify the period he's talking about, print out the bank statement for his account, and you check it whether you won't see deposit coming in from the state government for that period, or his salaries and allowances.
So far, with the kind of heat we are feeling from the campaigns and all that, and for the calls we've been receiving for peace to reign and so on, what are we doing to ensure that the elections in Edo State will not go south, will not go in a way that blood will be shed or spilled and there will be a destruction? What is the plan put on ground to ensure that all parties will obey the law of peace?
Well, I can tell you for certain that we as government and we as the People's Democratic Party will not benefit from any violence, because we are the popular party. We are set to win the election. The only people who would want to take advantage of violence and chaos is the APC, because they have presented the worst candidate ever to be presented by any political party in any part of Nigeria since the inception of democracy. A governorship candidate that is unable to attend even one television or radio interview for the whole period of his campaign. I intend to avoid all of it, intends to avoid the debate, because he cannot communicate in English for 1 minute without difficulty. So they are not even in the contest. So they have lost the election already and they know it. So they are banking on violence, and we are going to ensure that we overwhelm them and put them in check, and they are not going to be able to implement any violence. It's going to be a peaceful election, and the PDP is going to win by landslide.
But must a governor speak English? Must a governor be able to speak good English? If he can communicate in pidgin English and is doing the work very well, anything bad?
Why not extend your invitation from your radio to him and ask him to come and speak pidgin English?
Well,
he won't come. Even pidgin English, he won't come because I can't speak pidgin English properly.
We'll try Nisha.
It's even Asa. It's only Asa he can manage. Unfortunately, he will cut out almost 90% of Nigerian listening audience if he uses Asa.
All right, but another question will be, the other candidates, when they go for interviews, do the stations they go to usually pay them? Because there was this thing the other day that the particular candidate we were talking about, his party asked that he be paid about $1 million, is it naira or dollars, before he can be allowed, before he will come for an interview. Is that the new style now? Is that how people go about it? Stations pay you to come for interviews?
That was a shameful statement that came out of the campaign of the APC candidate, that to appear on that television station you spoke about, that the candidate needs to be paid $1 million. That tells you that it doesn't, by any stretch of imagination, want to appear for any engagement on television. No television station pays a governorship candidate to come and appear on their TV. Who is he? Is he a rock star, a movie star? Who is he? It's just someone seeking to serve the people. If anything, he should be paying to come on air.
Joseph has a question.
Okay, Crusoe, let's look at the election is coming. Edo State, the youth are very, very active. What is the government doing, especially through maybe youth and sport ministry, to ensure that the energy should be like a competition, not a fight? Because I know the children will not fight, the women will not fight, but the youth may have energy if it's not properly tailored, then become another different entirely.
Thank you very much. Good question. If you follow us closely, you'll find out we're going to be celebrating Edo at 33, beginning from a couple of weeks from now. And we're going to be having a very varied event. We're going to have different activities. much of the activities will target youth. For example, we are bringing our own son, Rema, who is an international music icon, to come and perform in Edo State in the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, during that Edo 30, which is just 2 weeks from now. And we're using all of this to get the youths energized for what's coming in a couple of weeks. Trying to get them involved, get them to participate, get them to see that they have a part in all of this, because the youth, they are more interested in music, in arts, in sports, and so on and so forth. And you must have heard that the Duke Queens, our female football club, just qualified for semi-finals at the CAF level of competition. That speaks to the depth that we have brought to our sports development in Edo State in the last 8 years. No female team in Edo State has gone to the CAF competitions before, let alone get into the semi-finals. It's the first time in our history.
While we're still talking about the youth, this past 8 years the governor has been there. What are some of the things that were done to help keep the youth well engaged productively? Because as it is said, an idle mind is a workshop of somebody you may not want to be to have as your employer. What was done, especially in the area of cultism, that had taken the front burner? Because when you talk about cultism anywhere in the country, most times fingers are pointed at Edo State. They give you stories, the role of some schools, the role of some areas, and how they wreaked havoc then, now, and so on. What was done to turn the tide or to tame the tide of this cultism amongst the young people and even those who sponsor them?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know, but Edo State is the only state now in Nigeria, maybe one of the states, I don't know, maybe there are a few other states that has completely outlawed cultism, and we have sent a bill to the House of Assembly, and it has been passed and has been signed into law. And cultism is a crime and is punishable by very lengthy sentences, in prison. And then if the person commits murder in the process of the cult activities, then the ultimate price will be paid. So that is there. And then we have set up an anti-cultism unit that's dedicated to apprehending and prosecuting anybody found carrying out violent cult activities in Edo State. With respect to stuff that we've done to get youths productively engaged, it's vast and various. This governor has worked essentially for the youth for the most part. If you come to Edo State now, I'm sure, having worked in Edo State before, it was no Nigerian Observer newspapers, that premises. We go there now, it's been redeveloped into two huge, organizations. You have the Nigerian Observer printing press. Nigerian Observer itself has been rebuilt from scratch to world-class standards. We've put presses there and so on and so forth. Then on the other side, we have what we call the Sir Victor Wifo Creative Hub, where you have video production studios, audio production studios, stand-up comedy, amphitheaters, halls where you can act movies from Nollywood. Right opposite that facility now, we're building accommodation for artists who come to use the production center for their production and so on and so forth. And that's for the creative industry. For the IT industry, which is also a place where youths, use their energies, we have what we call the Edo Innovates, the Edo Creative Hub, in this IC Road. We also have what we call the Tech Hub around Iriri, where we work with an IT company called Decagon, and we bring young people into that premise. We finance and fund, their training in different IT softwares, app development, and so on and so forth. And then up to the point where we also match them with international organizations. We're looking for those kinds of IT experts to hire. And they get, so it's end to end. We bring them in, we train them, we hook them up with employers. Most of these employers are abroad. And then when they start earning their salaries, they pay back, which was used to finance them through the process of training, and then that money is taken back to bring in fresh people into the program. We have that going on. We have several other things. Football, for example, we have Betsy Obaseki football tournament. We didn't want to target only male youth because we find that many times the male youths are more adventurous than the female youth. So we also, set up competition for women to play football. I dare say that we have the best female footballers in Nigeria right now, in Edo Queens, on the back of these developments targeting women. But we also target men too. We rebuilt the Samuel Ogbemude Stadium to have various sporting activities hold there, swimming, track and field. We have tartan tracks, the best in the world, lawn tennis, table tennis, soccer, and so on and so forth. And we have mini stadia across the state, because we know that not everybody can come to Ogbe Stadium. People in Ekpoma cannot be coming to Ogbe Stadium to use it. So we have little, we call them mini stadia across the different wards and local governments in the state, so that sport development can begin at the grassroots. So a lot has been done to engage young people. And if you check the entertainment, the sports, and all of those industries in Nigeria, you find that Benin people, Edo people, sorry, not just Benin, Esako, Akoko, Edo, you name it, Benin, they are the leading lights, look at MC Edo Pikin, look at MC Casino, look at, look at Rema, look at Charlie Poppy, they are all from here. And they are all product of these investments into youth development.
Now, the youth development, the things you've listed, a lot of them would be working well with young people who are educated in one way or the other, because for you to go into IT and all that, you should have a level of education and so on. What about those who unfortunately didn't make it to school or through school and all that? Do you have skills acquisition that by the time they are done, you're able to set them up in business, to provide funds for those who would want to start this or that form of business?
Oh, yes, of course. We have artisanal programs also for different people. If you go to what we call Benin Technical College, I don't know if you remember Benin Technical College. If you go there now, you'll be shocked. We brought back the Canadian technology to rebuild that place. We have mechanic training there. We have carpentry training there. We have electricians training there. We have, painters training there. So sometimes about Edo State to people who don't live here, it looks a bit larger than life. So that's why I always encourage my colleagues like you, my brother there, to find one weekend, call me, come to Benin, so that it won't be as if these things are just we're just saying them. So you can come and see for yourself.
Now air they follow, now flyer they fly you. Daytime fly,
no matter,
they fly you.
No matter, you're up to the task now.
What? Nobody you say make I come. You say call me. What is not be?
Yeah, we are up to the task. It's not a problem. We can do it.
Just kidding.
We can do it.
So
yeah, we can do it. So that sometimes a lot of people say different things that really don't exist, but all the things that we say, they are here, and they are here for you to verify. So I don't mind, you getting, people here, credible voices like yours, come and see. So that the only thing is that many times us journalists, when we go back, we are now constrained by our ethics. We won't want to sound like we are promoting the, but it's good to come and see and then say what you see.
Yeah, saying what you see. In what you see, somebody now tells you what not to say, even though you saw them will now be coming from. In our case, there's not going to be any problem, because what you see is what you're going to say. Okay, Joseph.
Yeah, Oga Crusoe, my fear for Edo State, my in-law was a pensioner. We assess many things, even here in Lagos. So my fear is the coming administration, what are you going to put in place to ensure that a lot of technology that we have integrated into governance in Edo State is not relaxed or maybe changed completely? Because in Nigeria, a government will come, drop down everything that has been done in the past, in the former administration, then continue from foundation.
Let me add to what he just asked there. For instance, the minimum wage, the Edo state government was able to stop paying the 70K.
70?
Yeah, 70K minimum wage before every other person started to even talk about it. And some felt that, oh, this is not booby trap. This is a trap for the next administration. So for things like that, what has been put in place that by the time another person comes, even your party or you don't win, some other person comes, that we don't reverse all these things?
Yeah, well, we can only speak for ourselves. For the government and for the PDP, we are setting that the minimum wage of 70,000 is the least that we can pay in Edo State. As a matter of fact, the candidate of the PDP, Barrister Aso Igodalo, has committed to increasing it even further when he comes. And I'm sure you may know Igodalo a bit. If you ever pass through Awolowo Road in Ikoyi, you see Banwo and Igodalo, B&I Associates. He's the founder of that law firm. I think the lowest paid lawyer in that law firm earns above $1 million naira. So I mean, coming into government, something similar is going to happen, and he has committed to raising the minimum wage even further than or higher than 70,000. But we can't speak for our counterparts in other parties, and to sustain it is very simple. We have plugged all leakages in government, and this has led to an increase in funds available for use for things that are development oriented. I'll give you an example. For example, if you in my office now, you can see that there's light. This light here is not powered by a generator. It's powered by our IPP. We call it the Osium of power, which we developed in this administration in the last 6 years. That power plant serves all government agencies, and I'm in government house right now, in the government secretariat. Everything government is served by Osium of power, which means that no government agency is using diesel to power their offices. What does that do for our bottom line? That saves money for us. In this office now, if you look at this, let me just turn my camera. This is my tab. This is my tab with which I do my work, my government work. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I can see.
This is the tab that I do my government work. We have an online system of government here. We don't print memos anymore. If you look at my desk, you will not see a single file, for processing, because all my files are in my tab. We call it the EdoGov platform. What that has done is that it's taken away that request to pay for paper. Say, I want to buy reels of paper to print. It's taken away request for ink, for printers. It's taken away request for files, paper files, and so on and so forth. Then you now talk about the internet with which I run this device that I just showed you just now. The internet. Back in the day, we buy routers and dongles and use as in that, but right now we don't do that anymore because Edo State has fiber optics laid by Main One across the 18 local governments of Edo State, and we get internet straight from there. So if you come into my office now and you open your phone, you're going to see EdoGov guests for you since you're not an employee. And if I want you to have access, I'll give you the password. You sign it. So that way, those monies that we used to request, so I want to buy data, I want to buy this, is all gone. We're not requesting it anymore. Edo State government has what we call the Edo State Fleet Management Agency. What does this do? We have something like Uber. So we have a fleet management system where we have all kinds of vehicles. We have premium vehicles, we have regular vehicles, we have off-road vehicles, all in that pool. And as a government official now, if I need to go to Akoko Edo, I need to go to Auchi for an official assignment, all I need to do is to go to the app. We call the app Move Monkey, and just make a request. I'm making a trip to Auchi. I want to go and do an orientation program there, and I'm going to be spending 2 days, and I'm going to be going through off-road, so I need a Hilux, and I've set the date when I need it and date when I'm coming back. That's all. On that day, that Hilux is going to be sitting in front of my office with the driver inside. All I need to do is get in, and it takes me to the place where I need to do my work, and I come back. So those requisitions we used to make, oh, I'm traveling, please bring money bring money for this, bring money for that. It's all gone. We don't do that. So this is how we have reformed government. We have also adopted what we call the hub system of government. in Edo State. So if you wanted to do your CFO or building approval or anything concerning the built environment, it's in one hub. We call it the Built Environment Hub. It's along Sapele Road, where the GIS office is, Ministry of Fiscal Planning is, and all of that. So if everything concerning building, land registration, titles are done there. We have the Agric Hub on Airport Road, down ADP. We have, if you go there, massive structure, so everything concerning agriculture, farm, crop, animal, the veterinary, to just name it, the machinery, they are all there. We have the education hub in Yaro. It's not been completed now, it's about 70% complete. So by the time it's complete, you're going to have SUBEB, Post-Primary Education Board, Ministry of Education, everything education in that place. What that does is that it reduces commuting. Oh, I need to rush to this office, go and bring this file. So everything is localized within that environment. So cost of operation will. When you have somebody who understands how to run organizations, lead a state, this is what happens. And what has happened eventually is that cost of running government has crashed significantly, leaving us with headroom with which we can implement higher wages. And we can even go further.
So, Crusoe, did I hear you say Move Monkey?
Yes, Move Monkey. That's what we call the app.
Move Monkey. Why monkey?
Well, the monkey can adapt and move and jump from tree to tree. So I'm sure it's the technology people who did it. That's what they give it.
The word says that monkey is kind of racist to say. That's why they now say mpox instead of monkeypox.
Monkeypox, well.
Move monkey. Okay, let's move now, but not in a monkey style, in another format. And also check out the issues of these strides that you've listed. Do you think they're strong enough for a Labour Party, for instance, not to have a win over you? Because it is said that Labour Party's headquarters, Edo State, because they seem to love the former presidential candidate that much, and they love the party that much too. Do you think, or what you've put in place as a government, they're good enough for the Edo State people to say, yes, you will stay, and no matter how much we love you guys, sorry, not now, come back another time? Do you think you have that wherewithal?
Yeah, the appeal of Labour Party in Edo State it stems from their love for Peter Obi, and their love for Peter Obi comes from the antecedents of Peter Obi, having been a very astute governor in Anambra State and so on and so forth, and that is where it ends. Edo people are very, very, very objective people. So they don't pick parties based on the name of a party. They pick people they're going to vote for based on the credibility of the candidate that party is presenting. So, and as we speak today, and as it stands today, the most credible person in the election, it's Aswe Godalo. Is most experienced, is most most connected, is most polished, is most decent, most empathetic. So we believe that the same way they adopted Peter Obi is the same way they are also going to adopt Aswe Godalo. And it has already started. There's a movement called Obedience for AI. In AI is Aswe Godalo, Obedience for AI. In Edo, I see there are banners everywhere. And so I'm saying that, just the same way the Obedient movement took Edo State by storm in 2023 general election, that is how the Aswe Godalo people are going to take this state by storm.
You referred to a private partnership type power supply, power generation that is running where you are now. Was it not possible to have extended that to the whole state for you to get off the national grid and Edo State is running on her own power? Was that not a possibility?
Yes, we have to segment it because, the reason why this particular one that serves this part of the state is feasible is because of proximity to gas supply. So the plant sits on just about 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers away from the gas pipeline. So that's how come it gets gas as cost effectively as it does, and then can serve this part of the state. So if you wanted to take this power now all the way to Auchi, it will become, it won't be cost effective. So that's why we're now looking for other different ways to ensure that there's power in different parts of the state. If you know the governor's page on Facebook, if you go and check it, you'll find that we're doing what we call, you'll see some videos there of what we call solar farms. We're doing solar farms, 1 megawatt solar farm each in different communities. So that when you go to a community that is distant from this part of it, so instead of trying to draw transmission cables from airport, from Sapele Road where this plant is, all the way to Ovia Southwest, what we're doing, taking advantage of our solar, solar energy that we have in Edo, we're developing solar farms, and then connecting those communities within that space into that mini grid. And so we're deploying different solutions for different communities to ensure that we deal with power challenges. But to be sure, Osimo Power serves both government and private organizations and individuals around the corridor where where Osimo Power passes through. So you find hotels like Constantia, that's what they call it, directly opposite the airport in Benin. It's on Osimo Power. You find Market Square. It's on. You find the most popular supermarket in Benin along Sapele Road 2, Hallmark. It's on Osimo Power. You find Rain Restaurant. It belongs to the former governor of Delta State's younger sister and her husband. They are the one who run that restaurant.
How much do they pay? How much do they pay per unit?
It's cheaper than Band-Aid. Cheaper than Band-Aid.
And it's 24/7.
24/7. If they are going to, if we're going to be out of power, they announce, let us know that we're going to be doing some maintenance, so you'll be out of power for 2 hours on Saturday, or so they let us know. So because it's an expanding network, so they're constantly expanding. So sometimes they need to do something, they announce, and they say we're taking 2 hours on Saturday, and that's it.
So this one that you're able to do with the power that hopefully you're going to spread across the state, were you able to do such with some of the natural things that you have in Edo State that are not on the exclusive list? For instance, palm oil. I know that Edo State is the likes of Okomu oil, knife oil is there, and so on. The state government tried picking that up as another source of revenue, employment generation, and so on.
As I speak to you today, Edo State has the largest land under oil palm cultivation in the whole of Africa.
Is it working?
And yes, you are very correct. We have brought in several investors. The producers of Indomie, United Foods, they have taken vast space. Then I don't know if you know, they used to call them in those days in Lagos, Saro Farms. They have taken vast oil palm plantation. Fayus, another company, has taken vast. We have 70 hectares of land taken. 70,000 hectares of land taken by private companies, in addition to Okomo and Presco. So as of today, Edo State has the largest oil palm farm under cultivation in Africa.
All right. Joseph?
Okay, Crusoe, let's do something a bit into politics. Sometimes our ANEC, sometimes they are doing their work perfectly, but glitches will come up to disturb their election process. Let's assume they have glitches during the election and they declare another candidate, which is not PDP, winner. What will PDP do? Then the second one is we know Abuja
power. We are going to be there, and then at the end of the voting, we are going to count the votes per unit. And then we're going to have a result sheet per unit, and then we're going to take each unit's result. All of us will go to the World Collation Center and sit down and ensure that The result that came out from Unit 1 is what is entered into the form in the word collation. The word Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. And we're going to take in pictures of all of this, and everybody's going to have it. I'm sure your radio station before 9 p.m. on that Saturday of the election, we already have results from almost all the units from the different parts of Edo State. You already have collated your results, waiting for INEC to announce. If INEC announces something that's different from what your radio station collated, are you not going to raise dust and say, wait, we got the results straight from the field. What you're announcing is different. You know, the channels, we have their result. AIT, we have. Lagos Television, we have. All of us, we the results. Everybody will have their result before INEC even comes out to announce. So elections are more difficult to steal these days, you know, especially elections that are localized in one place, in one location, like a state government election. For presidential election, yes, because of the vast area that you cover, people can still manipulate something, and because it happens all at the same time. But don't forget that those state election is just happening one day. All of us are going to put our eyes on the ground that one day. So it still is going to be almost impossible.
Okay. But because there's a new CP of Lagos of Edo State now, and maybe government, the IGP have reason why he has to maybe change the CP, and he take order from Abuja as the Commissioner of Police Edo State, and police are very, very critical in election period.
Yes, you're right. If you would listen to news today, you see I've already started raising alarm. Some rogue policemen, you know, have been moving about, targeting PDP stalwarts and trying to harass them and batter them to submission. They're abducting some of them, trying to hide them, you know, before the election so that they won't use their influence to bring votes to the PDP. But you see, that's the most they can do. And, you know, the police, their job is to maintain law and order. We don't want to judge them before the day of the election. We are giving them the benefit of it. But don't forget, police, I'm sure the total number of policemen in Nigeria is not up to 10% of Edo State population. So the police work is only possible because the people work with them. If the people turn their backs on the police, NSAS, when the people turn their backs on the police, the policemen not run into their homes and remove their uniforms. The police has credibility because they are backed by the civil people, the civil society. So if the police becomes irresponsible and the people turn their backs on them, they can't function.
All right, 0700 903 903 903, or I'd prefer 0700 903 903 903. You could call that number, add your voice. You have a question you would like to ask. You could ask. If you're from Edo State, you have something you like to say too, you could go ahead and call. The numbers are open and available for you to use. You could also send a message on WhatsApp too. You're listening to VOP 90.3 FM from Lagos. I'm Cordelia Obe. Joseph Lawrence is here also, and we're speaking with Mr. Crusoe Osaige. Let's take the very first call. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning, I'm fine.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Victor Asama from Niger, Ayobo, Barowa side.
Okay, go ahead, Victor.
All right, you know, there's something we need to understand. APC and PDP, they are the same type of feather. Who is APC, who is PDP? And when it comes to Edo State, there's something about Edo State when it comes to election. I think I'll be there before during that time. We work for them. It took us from here to Lagos to do some gradual work. Is there had the first statement of who here go short the vote?
You say who here go short the vote? Okay, all right. Vote. To the point, quick.
You understand? So what I'm trying to tell you is that Edo State election is not going to be easy. If there's no bloodshed in life, a lot of things are going to happen there because the APC will not agree, PDP will not agree.
Okay, so how can they solve the problem now? How can they solve the problem, Victor?
Yeah. To solve that problem right now, let the security men just be honest to themselves and serve the people.
All right, Victor, thank you. All right, Victor just said that you heard him, right?
I heard him. Yeah, I heard him, but he's completely wrong. I don't. He said he worked in Edo State election 2020.
I say he heard that who hear gunshots, not the vote or something like that.
But is that not what he said in 2020 when the governor was coming for re-election? Heaven is going to fall. Tinubu even did a video on that occasion to say reject Obaseki and all of that. They said, but at the end of the day, what happened? It was a peaceful election. Everybody came out from their houses. They voted. Obaseki won by a landslide. It's just propaganda to frighten people not to come out to vote, because the APC who is going about with this propaganda, they know that nobody wants to vote for them, so they prefer that nobody comes out. Okay. But let me assure you that it's going to be a very peaceful election. Everybody come out from their homes, they will vote, they will defend their votes. The winner will be declared.
All right. Hello, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My sister, how are you?
I'm fine. Is this comrade?
Ambassador Muzwa here from
you almost sounded like comrade. It's been a long time. Where have you been, Musbao?
I was listening to you. I mean, no call.
Welcome. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead.
I do well.
Thank you.
It's to me. First of all, let me talk to my people. No politician, no. I'm not talking to the politician right now.
Okay, but remember, Crusoe is holding on, so we have to make it brief so he can respond.
Yeah, so to me, please, let us do things in the right way. Never allow it to be used by any politician. If you want to go and vote, please go and vote. I want to remind you, in America, Donald Trump called some people to come to the White House and do nonsense. They are still in jail right now. Donald Trump is still contesting for the president. So who going to be the whipping boy? Please, food for thought.
Thank you.
Okay, is that all, Musbao?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, Musbao. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you, Musbao. That's exactly what we want. We don't want any violence. We don't want, just go and vote. There's not going to be any violence. Just go and vote, period. They will count the votes. Who has the highest vote wins, period. Okay. There's no need for any fight. There's no need for any fight.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Cordelia. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? What's your name?
My name is Sonny Edosa Olikia Boy. I'm from Edo State.
Wako. All right, go ahead.
This is my first time. I've always been following you, but this is my first time.
Oh, okay. Let me give you my bell. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm calling because I've listened to the Edo man talking there. Though I'm calling from Lagos right now. I'm in Lagos, but I am in Edo State. I come from there. You can see that everything he mentioned, I will tell you, Cordelia, is all for the elite. How does a common man benefit from all these things he mentioned that they have done? Go to Edo State, you will see the sufferings there. Okay, he has mentioned all this hub, that hub, the other hub. How does a common person of Edo State benefit from all these things he has mentioned? With all the poverty and all that. He's talking of curbing court. Cultism is still on the high side in Edo State. I tell you, that is where I come from. That is where I stay. Okay, so you shouldn't just come and speak all this English, and then at the end of the day, that is just it. No, it doesn't work like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You heard your townsman.
Thank you very much, Edosa. So let me explain to you how it affects the common man. You may not understand how it works. If expenses are reduced and monies are not frittered away, then we have more money to pay the civil servants, right? And if we pay civil servants, I'm sure you know that it's the common man that is the civil servant. We have from grade level 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08. From 01 to 7 is for people who went to primary school and secondary school, did not go to university. It's from grade level 08 that you have people who went to
universities and all that.
So if I say that we have saved money by all the hubs and all the things that we did so that we can pay higher minimum wage, that is exactly for the common man. If you're not bright enough to understand that, I'm sorry. Then if I say that we have developed power, electricity for government offices and big users, then what does that mean? It means therefore that the electricity that government would have demanded from the national grid is now free for other people to take, which means that there's more power for people to use in Edo State. If I say that we are no longer wasting monies on journeys and trips and so on and so forth, it means that there is more money set aside for developmental projects in the state. So everything I've said, there's nothing elitist about all I've said. Everything I've said is for the common man. It's just you do not quite understand how. So that's it.
What about the cultism? We talked about cultism. Cultism is still there.
I acknowledge it, that there's problem with cultism, and that for that reason, the state government has put a law to capitally punish anybody who's found, carrying out cult activities, and that we have a special task force that is implementing the punishment of people. And take note, Mr. Edosa, it's not government that is cultism. It's you people that are cultism. It's you fathers. Take children, mothers, take care of your children. It's not, the governor does not come from his house to make somebody a cultist. People become cultists because of bad home training and so on and so forth. So not to leave all the blame for government alone. You parents, and children also have a role to play. Don't join cults. Instead, come to Edo Creative Hub. Instead, go to IC. He was talking about elitism. Is it elites that go to Benin Technical College to learn carpentry, to learn wiring, to learn mechanic? Is IC off TV Road? Is that a place for elites? The elites in Edo State mostly stay in the GRA. TV Road, IC off TV Road is where the general people live. And then we have an IT center there where you can walk in free of charge. Even as long as you have a secondary school living certificate, you can understand how to touch a computer. You can learn graphic design, app development, all kinds of things for free. What is elitist about that? You can't just sit down and not take advantage of the what is being provided for you under the guise that it is elitist. It's not elitist.
Do people have to pay to use these things?
Free. My sister, you were in Edo before now, so call anybody. Tell them, if you have anybody who went to secondary school, maybe he's in between secondary and university. He has 1 year or 6 months to. Tell him, please go to ICE. There's nobody who grew up in Edo that does not know Institute of Continuous Education. We have turned it now into a tech center. Tell them to go there and just say you want to register for any training. Graphics design, apps development, all they have different. They won't have a shared workspace where if you have a small business and you don't have money to rent an office, you can go there with your laptop and plug your laptop to electricity. They have solar power there. Okay. The place is powered by solar, know. Okay, so, and then you work for free.
Okay, let's take this one. Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but speak a little louder. What's your name?
Okay. My name is Kenneth Cassie.
Hi, Kenneth. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Kenneth. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, Kenneth. Go ahead.
Hello?
All right. Okay. You know what? Let's do this.
Cannot hear.
No, he cannot hear us. Kenneth, do this. When you call back, right, if you get through, just say, hello, this is Kenneth, and start saying what you need to say. Once it hits 30 or so seconds, the conversation would end. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, how are you? Hello? Okay, drop call. Now, what about security? What did the state do in the area of security? These kidnappings on the expressway, parts of the cities are becoming like places of, in quotes, sieges. it seemed to be spreading all through the federation. What did Edo State do to in this area of security? But meanwhile, let's add this person's question to whatever the answer will be. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. It's Kenneth calling back.
All right, fantastic. Kenneth, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Okay, I have like 3 questions here. While your guest was speaking, I was
a whole three. So make them short. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. While he was taking the analysis, I was busy taking note here. Yeah. My first question is the question of power. And why is I'm trying to ask, why don't the states try to run a full power generate the full power for the states, for everybody, and make saves or funds more in that than having only for the government officials.
Next.
And then the second question here is the issue of cultism. The issue of cultism is not actually a question, but the other guy who said something concerning cultism, I also want to throw more light to him. The issue of cultism is not actually the government's fault. From Benin State, because if you go here, if you're a journalist, you know very well the issue of cultism in Benin State, Crusoe, Calabar, and that state, you know how high it is, not only in Edo State. So that can be placed in the government. In issue of cultism, as he said that they have a continuing education center. Let me be pleased to inform you this. Immediately after my JSS3, I went to a continuing education center. That's where I did all my secondary school from SS1 to SS3. I paid myself. I wish my state, Benin State, had this very thing that the Edo State has provided now for the indigenous people of Edo. That in my state, after that time, I wouldn't have been here in Lagos doing the kind of jobs I do right now.
Okay, then
because I have a very good hustling spirit.
Okay.
And then finally, the issue of tech, IT. I'm trying to what on the state? Most people maybe they might not really have the idea about the state
IT hub.
Yes. So I'm trying to play with them that they should try and make it create the awareness to the people, to the masses. They can know what the government is doing in that area, so that they can channel into and make themselves useful to the society. Thank you,
Kenneth. Thank you very much. Kenneth shared personal experiences and so on. Carry on, please.
I'll take the first question on
power.
Your question. Your question again was
security.
Okay, mine was security. Yeah.
Edo State runs the best security architecture in Nigeria by far. We have what we call the Edo State Command and Control Center. If you eventually make that trip, I hope you would. I will take you there. Although it's a secure center, but I would make an exception. Where we have all walls covered with screens and taking visuals from all parts of the city. So if you are at Ring or you're at Boba Hill, we are watching you with cameras, and we have real-time response to any crisis that happens in any part of the state. It's right here in Edo State. Anytime you come, I will show you. Attached to that, we have all the 3 layers or 4 layers of security agencies. We have the police, we have the DSS, we have the army, all represented inside the Command and Control Center. This Command and Control Center is manned by at least 50 people on the telephone round the clock, morning, afternoon, evening. They have 3 shifts, 8 hours shift each. And so once a call comes from any part of the city, we zoom into that part with the camera. We are on the phone talking to the relevant security agencies, and the closest one to that location moves there to respond. Does this completely remove crime? Totally doesn't, but has reduced crime significantly in Edo State, because the criminals who used to operate in Edo now know that if you commit crime in Edo, if you even succeed in committing crime, you will certainly be caught, because our cameras will follow you home. So that's for security. And then of course we built a very robust what we call a Edo State Security Network, like a vigilante intelligence network that helps us to gather information in different communities about crimes and criminals, and makes it easy for us to bust crimes. And several other things. We've acquired vehicles, all those are simple ones. But the strategy is what's most important. That's what every other thing sits on. So we in Edo State, we have what we call the Ministry of Public Safety and Security. So it's one of the few states that has that in Nigeria. So that's on the one hand. Then on the other hand, the gentleman talked about power. Yes, he's correct. I explained that the power is not able to go around all of Edo State because it's just about 95 megawatts that we have in that in Osiomo power plant. It serves all government organizations, but it also serves private individuals. It serves some homes too in that corridor.
So expansion? Plans for expansion.
So expansion is what we are talking about. But you can't just expand the power grid carelessly because we'd rather. Because if you want to take power from this location now to the whole of Edo State, transmission is going to be more expensive because you're going to have to plant electric poles all around, drawing from one source. That becomes very, very difficult and expensive. So rather, what we are trying to do is identify what is most cost efficient for the community you want to serve. So if, for example, a community that is too far from this grid, and we know that Edo State has a lot of sunshine, so why not set up mini grids of solar and serve that community? If it's a community that is close to where you have water, why not do hydro there? So we're going to use a mix of methods to solve power problems in Edo State. But we're also going to keep the municipal power as well, because what we're not trying to do is to ensure that there are options for different people to get power, so that whatever power that is left that people need can now be served by municipal power. So that for that. And I thank you for your acknowledgement of the effectiveness of this tech education and continuous education thing is what this government is very passionate about, and it is there, and we are by this medium calling on everybody to go there and take advantage of it.
All right. This message on YouTube, I think maybe after this broadcast, you'll have access to it later, so you can read this message from Frank Ojoto. He's saying here that in Edo, the vigilantes, some of the things he wrote here, like the vigilantes that loads are cult members, and he referred to a particular member in government and says that person is a particular member of a particular cult and stuff like that, and that the state has lost about 300 youths to cultism in the last 3 years unannounced. He says these things there. You can read, check out the names and all that. And you want to say anything concerning that?
Yeah, all kinds of allegations against different people about cultism. We have acknowledged that there's a problem with cultism. We have declared a state of emergency with cultism. We have set up a response team to deal with cultism. We have put a law to punish cultists who perpetrate the act. I think that's the most we can do. We can't deal on speculations. The person who is writing this could also be a cult member. Who knows? So yeah, we can't deal on speculation.
Okay, it says you should verify. Joseph, finally.
Yeah, Oga Crusoe, I know that let me come to this issue of cultism. Some of us in Edo State, we know that if we must address cultism, it must be from the home. What is government doing to maybe talk to parents, as in, because I believe the little that government, for me, is little, the government can only do little, but the home will play a very, very vital role. Okay. If we must check cultism in Edo State.
Yeah, you're right. But value reorientation is very important. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, I couldn't take a car home that I bought the car when I was not working. My father was going to ask me where I got it from. But all those things have changed in our country today. When the child brings a car home, the parents will sing and dance and celebrate. So the damage to our society is actually beginning from the home. We have situations where in this country where some parents go and pay for their children for some people to help their children cheat in exams, and these people will turn around and blame government. So yeah, the home is a major point where these issues should be addressed from. But beyond that, government is also making efforts to create options and opportunities. Those are the things I've been talking about, because there are some people who would, if they are not, if they find something to do, they will not fall into these bad gangs. So that's why we have all these tech hubs, the creative hubs. We have sports activities going on. As a matter of fact, in Edo State, as of today, if you are a reasonable young person, you don't have any reason to be idle, because number one, we have free transport system in Edo State, which means if you didn't have money to go from Ring Road to Ikoba Hill, you don't have to be in one place. All you need to do is to just trek from your house, because the Ring Road is like the center of the city. Trek from your house to Ring Road, there will be a free bus there. We have been running this since September 2023. Free transportation across the state, not just within the state alone, also outside to Ekpoma, to Awuchi, to Akoko Edo, free, funded by government. So if because of your idleness,
even after elections,
I said since September,
share with us, and well. All right, thank you very much, and have a beautiful time. All right, take care. All right, take care. Bye. You're listening to VOP 90.3 FM. We have to go now. Choma is already in the house. She'll be sharing with us the news that is for 12. Joseph Lauren, show your last line.
Yeah, I believe the people of Edo State want election to be peaceful, and I will just appeal to the security agency too. These are brothers, sisters, and the rest of them. Let them make their choice on 21st of September without any problem.
All right. And do it without any problems. No violence wherever the elections will be holding. Let's do it peacefully and let's be safe. I'm Cordelia Otbe. You've heard Joseph Lawrence Shaw and Oyefolu. Thank you so much for controlling stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and bye-bye.